someone up on stage. That's where you belong.
Well, Mark, first, I really have to apologize for my absolutely inappropriate dress. But you have to understand that wearing a tie is, for me, an anti-authoritarian gesture of anti-establishment in a context where nobody wears ties. So, and talking about dress codes, I did, in preparation for our little interview, a kind of crowdsourcing of questions, and I asked, among others, my executive colleagues, and one of them, Jan, I have to disclose his name, had a very sophisticated question, and he wanted to know why you are always wearing gray T-shirts.
Makes life simpler.
So you only have gray T-shirts?
I have colored ones too, but I only wear them on the weekends.
Okay. Mark, we have seen this impressive little demonstration about the easy things of VR. It gets more sophisticated. Why are you so confident that virtual reality is not a hype?
Well, the ability to transport yourself anywhere is a pretty big superpower. Normally, you don't choose to transport yourself off the edge of a tall building. That that can leave you with vertigo. But that was pretty cool. You know, there are a few big trends that we see. Right? Facebook's mission and what we really focus on is giving everyone the power to share all of the things that they care about, right? What they're thinking about, what they're experiencing on a day-to-day basis. And the idea is that if everyone has the power to share those things, then that makes the world more understanding. It helps people stay closer to the people who they love. All these good things that we value. Now, there's this very clear trend where if you go back maybe 10 or 15 years on the internet, you know, most of what we looked at was text. And then we got smartphones, and a lot of it started to become photos, and it started to get more graphical. And then the networks got better, and now it's starting to become video. And there's this just very clear trend where, as time goes on, in order to give everyone the power to share everything that they care about in richer and richer detail, right, and be able to really express themselves, right, and kind of share with the world what's going on inside their hearts and minds, that trend is going to continue, from text to photos to videos to something even richer. And so the question is, what's richer than videos, right? You go from having text to images to moving images. Well, videos are still just these little 2D windows. And in the future, I think it's pretty clear that we're going to have the ability to capture a whole scene, whether it's a room like this that you can capture with by stitching together multiple camera angles at once to weave together a view of a scene, a still photo like the view off of this building that we all just experienced a minute ago, or worlds that it isn't even possible to have here. I mean, that you can build with a 3D engine and code. And I think doing both is going to be pretty cool.
So what is Facebook's strategy and Facebook's role in this world of virtual reality? You have bought Oculus Rift for $2 billion. You have this partnership with Samsung. You are delivering technology to the Gear glasses. And apart from hardware, what is the role that Facebook could play in a virtual reality world?
Well, I think the biggest role that we're going to play is really investing in it and pushing the industry to invest in it. We're not a hardware company, right? We design servers, and we make those designs open source that people can use them for their data centers and stuff too. But mostly what we build is code and software products. Now, when you're at the beginning of a new platform like virtual or augmented reality, it's often very useful to develop both the hardware and software together. So we're doing that with our version of our VR product. We're also at the same time working really closely with Samsung, which is, I think, the best hardware company in the world, to be able to iterate very quickly and take advantage of the capacity that they have. But long term, what I really care about is getting to those social experiences, right? I mean, I think about,
Which means what, a virtual reality chat? Or?
Yeah, well, I mean, my favorite example is, we just had our daughter a few months ago, and, Sil and I talk about how we want to remember when she takes her first steps, right? And there's this trend where, if you look at, when I took my first steps, my parents wrote down the date in a baby book, right? Text, right? And, when my sister, when her son took his first steps, she took a picture on her phone or a video on her phone. But I want to capture the whole scene, right, and make it so that we have a 360 view and we can capture that whole moment. And even if my parents aren't there, my family isn't there, I can just bottle that up and send it to them, and they can experience it and feel like they're really right there, which you got a glimpse of with the headset that you put on a second ago. But that's like the V1 product, and you can picture going forward 5 versions from there where the resolution gets better. And the device gets lighter, and it'll really start to feel like you're there. And both, you'll be able to save moments and share them on the internet, kind of like you do with Facebook and social media today. You'll be able to stream live, right? So be in other places. And people are already doing pretty amazing stuff. I mean, NASA just put the Mars rover up and took a 360 video that you can put it on and feel like you're exploring the surface of Mars. But I'm actually even more excited about not just the video part of it, but code and being able to explore things that wouldn't even physically be possible on Earth. So I told the story earlier today of, last week the president of Indonesia came and visited us, and he wanted to see Oculus. So we did this demo. And we were in different rooms, and we were both had our headsets on in VR. And in VR, we were in the same room, and there was this table of all the stuff, and there were ping pong paddles on it. So we picked up ping pong paddles, and we started playing ping pong. And it's like, okay, fine, that's cool, but like you can just have a ping pong table, right, and play ping pong. So that's not really that special, right? You don't need the headset to do that. But then we started messing with gravity, right? So we turned off gravity. So then we were playing ping pong in 0 gravity. And it's like a pretty cool, different thing, right? It's like, okay, you can't hit the ball so hard because then it's it's just gonna fly away, which is fine. There are more balls in VR, but
you don't have to bow.
but it was a pretty cool thing that you couldn't experience otherwise. You could play ping pong underwater. You could do anti-gravity, so things float away by default, and you have to hit them back down to Earth. And I think that's going to be pretty crazy, right? And giving people the ability to experience anything and to express anything that their mind can come up with or that their heart feels, I think is just going to lead to a world where we have more empathy for each other's ideas and can experience and feel them at a more visceral level. And I hope we'll bring people together and contribute to this idea of breaking down boundaries around the world and creating one global community.
Mark, the other big game changer for the digital world is artificial intelligence. And in that case, it's not the Europeans who raised concerns. It's a very successful American entrepreneur, Elon Musk, who has just raised $1 billion in order to do something on an entrepreneurial level, basically to protect mankind against artificial intelligence, because he seriously thinks that sooner or later artificial intelligence could take over the human brain, that machines could be smarter than men. Do you share that worry, or do you think it's hysterical?
I think it's pretty hysterical and dangerous. So I actually think that for all the arguments that AI could be bad, I actually worry that the outcome of those arguments is a dramatic reduction in the pace of progress towards things which are unquestionably good, right? So we have now the ability to, I just saw this presentation last month where now someone can take a smartphone and take a picture of a little skin lesion and determine with the accuracy of the best dermatologist in the world whether it's cancer. So imagine getting that power into all of your doctor's hands, right? You want that. Right? I mean, we all want that, right? AI can help us diagnose diseases, can help us do more precise treatment for diseases. One of the leading causes of death in the world is car accidents, right? I mean, having self-driving cars, which can just by simple pattern recognition, looking at the street, seeing if there's a pedestrian there and braking for you. You don't even need to have a fully self-driving car. You just need to put that technology to be able to recognize pedestrians or a car or a dangerous situation in front of it and just have the brake go on by automatically, it could probably save millions of lives. So I worry that when we argue against AI, we're actually arguing against those things. And it's tricky. It's not that there aren't going to be risks in the future, but right now we really don't know how the human brain works, right? We don't know how real learning works. We know a little bit about pattern recognition, right? All the tools that we have, language translation, image recognition, driving, diagnosing diseases, all are basically the same trick. Pattern recognition over different types of data. But that's not thinking. That's just taking data and finding a pattern. And I don't know. I worry that it's easy to extrapolate from these things and say these are such good things that we must be pretty close to being able to do something that could be pretty dangerous. To me, it's today we're so far off from that. We don't know how that works. It's kind of like looking back to the 1800s and saying one day there may be airplanes, and that could be dangerous because airplanes could crash. So let's start thinking about airplane safety before we know what an airplane is, because someday we might have something that flies. I mean, I think it's a much safer approach or better approach to actually wait until you know what the airplane might look like and then figure out how to make it safe before you roll it out widely. So there will be a day for that, and I do think that that there are going to be real concerns around things like AI in the future, but I think we have a responsibility to not let hysteria get in the way of real progress that could save a lot of people's lives.
Mark, why would Facebook not want to become a publisher? Why would you prefer to remain a distribution platform?
Well, we're a technology company. So there's this quirk about Facebook, which is that a lot of people use it. The main thing you use is News Feed. You open it up, you look at different content, whether it's photos that your friends shared or news that from your favorite publishers. And it's easy to think that just because you might be consuming content in it that we're a media company, but we're not. What we do is we build technology, and we partner with all different kinds of folks and try to put the power in people's hands to share whatever they care about, and and give them the tools to have the fullest expression of what they want to share with the world. So I mean, you were talking about instant articles before. To me, there's a real role for journalism, high-quality journalism in society. We're not going to do it. That's not what we know how to do best. But we can play, I think, an important role in that kind of debate and discourse by putting the very best tools in editors' and publishers' hands to take the ideas that you have and that you want to get out into the world and make it so that you can express the platonic form of what that is. And the closer we get to that, I think that'll increase the level of discourse in society, and that's what we can do. But we're fundamentally a technology company. We build technology and tools that empower other people.
Okay, last question. Mark, you did a lot of great things, impressive things. One is that you decided to take parental leave and spend 2 months with your daughter, Max. And there are rumors that you were doing the diapers. First of all, is it true? And are you good at it?
It is. I posted a photo of it on Facebook.
So are you good at it?
I'm a pretty competitive guy. So I time myself to make sure that I can get better and better and better over time. So I got it down to like 20 seconds. So I think that's pretty good, right?
Yeah. Priscilla, is it true what he's saying?
It's true, and there's been no accidents, no blood.
Well, from the key innovation, of course, is knowing that you need to slide the new diaper underneath before removing the used diaper. Because if you don't mess that up, then you're a ticking time bomb, and you might skate by a few times, but it's not going to be pretty.
Thank you very much, Mark. Thank you.
Thank you.